Okay, I'm going to start recording just so I don't forget. So anyone, if you have questions, you can put it in chat and we will go through them when it's Q&A. I will also check too. Anywhere. Not on the couch. Not on the couch? You can sit on the couch. Really? Yeah, you can sit on the couch. No one wants to sit on the couch? Oh, it's very comfy. There's the wing. Like that. Yes. Let's sit on the couch. Let's sit on the couch.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Okay, that's probably why it wasn't working, because it was still on.
Okay.
There, okay.
Should I sit somewhere so I can control things? Or?
Up to you. Are you going to be here?
Yes.
Yeah. So maybe I'll just be here then. How about I just be here?
Okay.
Oops. Okay.
Am I blocking anyone? No?
Okay.
Oh, just a glass of water.
Oh, absolutely, yes. In fact, maybe I should find a water bottle.
Well, actually, you look like, yeah, a glass is great. I actually know that I used it every time.
Carol, do you want to find some?
All right, and we'll be ready to start now.
We should start. 7:07.
Okay, oops, all right, so then I'll just do a quick intro. So if you haven't met Antoine yet, this is Antoine. I met Antoine quite some time ago, gosh, 2009? At the eight.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm very, very impressed. And, ever since then, I've been watching his career. It's just been going to all these amazing competitions that he's won. And then he went to Noah for 2 years.
Yes.
And studied, really specialized in Berlin music. And he's got this beautiful Baroque harp in the corner there. He's going to demonstrate it for us. And maybe later we can even try it out and see how it feels. But I'm so thrilled to see that he's coming to Vancouver, because this guy knows more about early music and how to perform it than almost every other harpist I know. So I'm just going to let him take it away, and I'm just going to sit.
Yeah, thank you.
Everyone turn off your cell phones or put them on silent.
Oh, right. I think I've done it. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. Hello to people on Zoom also. Yes, so my name is Antoine Malette Chenier, and I'm a Montreal-based harpist. And I play, let's say, half of the time I play the big pedal harp, and half of the time I play harps of older times of different historical periods. And today, I'll show it to you later, but I brought a copy of a 17th century instrument. So it's actually, I could, you know what, I could start with showing you the harp that I did bring.
So let's move some of these out of the way.
Yes, yes. Oh, well, I think that's...
Is that
like,
okay?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, so to go over briefly, let's say that, you know, harps, we know that there have been harps till Mesopotamia and the, you know, very, very, like, thousands and thousands of years ago. The ancient Egyptians also had harps. And in Europe, from the Middle Ages...
It's recording.
So from the Middle Ages, we have first very, very tiny harps. Usually harps in the medieval times in Europe had like 9 to 13 strings. So like very, very small harps. And so you could play perhaps a melody, perhaps accompany someone with a few chords, improvise, play dances. And then harps like, you know, kept evolving and changing to adapt to the music that was in fashion that people were trying to play. And so during the Renaissance, so that's about the 1500s, the music got more complex and more chromatic, with more using in the same piece sharps and flats and all of that. And the harps that we had before were like lever harps, but with no levers. So if you have a harp with no levers, you know that you're always having to retune it. And then when you have an accidental note, you can't play it as is. You need to find other solutions. So that's what harpists did. But at some point, they were like, what if we put more strings? So this way we have all the notes that a keyboard, piano, or the equivalent that they had back then has. So this is one of the solutions that they found. It's called, we could say in English, a Baroque triple harp. Its full name is in Italian. It's arpa doppia a tre registri. Arpa doppia means double harp, but like double bass, meaning big harp. So big harp with 3 rows of strings. So at the end of course, you can see up close, and I'll try it. I'll try and angle it for the camera also. So this harp has 3 parallel rows of strings. And that was developed around 1550 to 1600 in Italy mostly. And so you have 2 rows of white keys that are tuned today in C major, just like the white keys of the piano. And then in between, you have the black keys of the keyboard. So in theory, now harpists could play all or most of the music written for the keyboard instruments. And so this is the harp that was known to Monteverdi, Claudio Monteverdi, who wrote the first opera, officially L'Orfeo, in 1607, and in it there's a harp cadenza, actually. So harp cadenzas in opera dates back to the very first one. And it's the same harp that then traveled through France and then to England and Wales, where people went crazy. They loved this harp, and the Welsh people adopted it as their national instrument. And the triple harp is still today the national instrument of Wales. They play traditional music and dance music on it. And this is the harp for which Handel wrote, because there were many great Welsh harpers that were friends with Handel, and he got them some gigs by writing for their instruments. And so the famous Handel concerto would have been written for a harp that looked quite a bit like that. And so to play it, you tune the harp to the key that you need, and then you can play the piece. Yes, so a little bit, I'll talk to you about my background and my interest in early music and why I think it's fun to dive into that world. I've always liked early music. I was fascinated because it's different instruments, different sounds, and people improvise and ornament and decorate. And so it felt very creative to me. The same way that I like doing contemporary music or creating new music. And so I found, I was studying in the United States at the Yale School of Music, and they had a production of a Baroque opera. And I said, I want to go. I want to be a part of that. And so they found me a little triple harp, and they gave me the score, and they were like, okay, we start next week. And so I had never played that instrument, and I never played basso continuo. So basso continuo, the thorough bass or the accompaniment bass, is what we hear often on the harpsichord in Baroque music, the very a plucky metallic sound that accompanies. So harpsichordists or harpists or organists were accompanying by improvising on chords, like a jazz pianist, basically. It's almost the same job. And so you learn, one of the things you learn when you study this instrument is how to accompany. And I love doing that, to play with others and play in weird combination of instruments. Because often in Baroque music, the composer doesn't tell you which instrument to use. They'll say keyboard, and that could mean that it's for harpsichord, that it's for an organ, that you could play it on a harp, or that you could play it with 2 lutes, or 2 violins and a bass. And so you can always change things up depending on who's there and who wants to play. Yes. So today I thought it's not like a serious masterclass. I prefer to see it more as a workshop where we try things, see what makes sense, what doesn't, and it's mostly to get you excited about looking into music you might not know that well yet, or knowing where to look for things. Because when I when I say early music, I have a colleague who said that it's more a state of mind, meaning that you can approach any piece and you get the piece and you look at it as if it had just been rediscovered. And you're like, okay, I see notes on the page. What do I do with them? And thankfully, with the internet right now, you can find so much information. And yeah, so a little bit later, I'll talk about different key points that you can look at when you play that music, or if you want to like find a Baroque piece that would be fun to play. Yeah, and how to search and have fun. And I love also this music because there is always new pieces that we don't know, and we're like, yes, this sounds great on the harp. One of my students plays the Celtic lever harps, and we only play Renaissance and Baroque music with her. She's been a student for years, and we've like tried many pieces, and there's always new ones that work on the harp, and it's very fun. You get to make your arrangements, try things. Sometimes it's too hard and you take out notes. Sometimes it's too easy and you add more, and yeah. So I think what we'll do is, well, I guess I could play you a little bit of that harp so you can hear it. And then what we thought is that everyone who's playing tonight, including on Zoom, we'll see about the order, but could play. So we'll do sort of like a group mini concert. And then we'll go back to each one and to talk about like specific things that have to do with the pieces that you're playing tonight. Yes. So I'll show you 3 examples of music that harpists might have played on this instrument.
By the way, there's a chair there that can go up and down.
Yes, I think I'll take this one and I'll move this harp a tiny bit.
The one thing about that adjustable chair, though, is it's easy to trip on the sort of thing that comes out of the bottom there, so just watch your feet. I've tripped on those. Other than that, it's comfortable.
Well, I'm stuck with the cord.
Oh,
This
this
one.
way.
No, I think that's fine.
You're all right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then could you pass me my iPad that's beside you?
I think the angle.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, maybe
I'll
the
find
angle,
a good
yeah.
angle. Yes. Yeah, so harpists in the Baroque period, so that would be the years like the 1600 to the late 1700s. They played basically what the harpsichord players or keyboard players would play. So they would accompany singers and other instrumentalists, but they also played solo pieces and they improvised and played dance music. We know that harpists were often playing dance music, and like for example in Spain they also played in church often. Like we think of like church music being like at first only organ and very like a severe and all that, but the harpists played and improvised also in church back then also. So I will start with a piece written especially for the triple harp around 1620. And so this is a piece for harp, it's not a transcription, and it's a toccata by Italian harpist and keyboardist called Giovanni Maria Trabacci. And so he wrote that piece. You'll see it's always like big slow chords, and each slow chord is decorated with a ton of little notes, but it always moves at the same pace. And we'll talk about it later, but that's what we call in Baroque music the tactus. The tactus is basically the heartbeat or the slow beat that always comes back, and in each of these beats you can do whatever you want. It's like a dancer. You have to keep the pace, but you can add as much as you want. Yeah, so see if you can feel that tactus, and I'll try and feel it too so that it stays steady. So this was when they wrote it. It was a little bit their experimental music. This comes right after Renaissance music, where everything was perfect and beautiful and well ordered. And then some composers were like, "What if we tried something weirder?" And I'm sure people were very puzzled. But it's a great piece that shows the whole range of the harp. This harp has a great sound in the bass register. It's very tall because all the strings are only made of gut, even to the low register. So that's why we get this that deep sound, almost like a lute or a theorbo. The next piece I'll show you is a Spanish dance called the Marionas. And so it was in a book by a harpist named Lucas Ruiz de Ribayas, who put a book with all the Spanish dances that were known in his time in Spain. And so this one, you'll hear, it starts with just the bass. And that's pretty much it. He's like, okay, do your thing now. He gives us a few examples of how we can improvise on it. But so it's a great sort of pattern to have fun. So I'll try and do a little improvisation on it and put Ribayas's suggestions in the middle. So this one works great. There's not a single accidental in the whole piece. So you can play that on any type of harp. And then to finish, maybe something closer to the Baroque music we're used to hearing. I chose a piece by Vivaldi. Now, Vivaldi didn't write any music for harp. We know that there were still harpists in Venice when he was working in Venice. We don't know what they played, but I'm sure that they wanted to play Vivaldi because it was good music and very fashionable. And so what I did is, actually I was playing with a group that said, well, we want a solo harp piece and it's an all Vivaldi program. So can you play some Vivaldi? And I was like, oh well, I don't know. There's no keyboard works by Vivaldi. So I took a violin sonata and then I just kept the melody that the violin plays and then the left hand of the harpsichord that they would play. And I put them together. I cut the middle part out and I pasted them on a page and I started practicing. And so I'll play you just the A part, so the first part of the first movement. And so it's the same thing twice, so you can hear the second time I'll add a bunch of ornaments or decorations on it. And then the left hand, I did what I called earlier the basso continuo. So sometimes it's only a note, but sometimes I play the chords that are suggested by the composer, but I choose the notes that I thought fit the harp well.
Hang on a second.
Yes, yes.
There's an online question.
Yes, please.
Marilyn is asking if I can move the camera
Yes.
so we can see how your fingers play the second row.
Yes, yes. Well, it's unless you maybe at some point we can zoom in, but
yeah.
you see, if I play, let's say like C major, I'm only on the outer rows. It's hard to see on the camera.
Hard to see on the camera.
And then if I play C sharp major, then I go in the middle row.
Okay.
Then
I'm
D
just
major.
gonna come in to take a video.
Okay, should I just...
Should we move? Yeah, a little
So can
bit.
you grab the...
So you can
Okay.
do things that you can't play on a pedal harp
Okay,
where you
we'll
can
just do a little bit. Yeah.
Sure,
Quick
sure,
demo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I do a chromatic scale, I'll go. Sorry. And so if I go from, and then I don't know.
You're really reaching inside. Thanks
Anyway,
for
yeah, I
showing.
can show you when you come closer at the end. It takes when you first start out, it's a little disconcerting, but after a while it's fine. And actually, now that I think of it, before that first movement of that sonata, I'll play a little prelude. Now that's something that especially harpists were renowned for. So a prelude, in its basic idea, is an improvised little bit of music. To just, sometimes it can be to warm up the fingers. Very good idea if it's cold or if you're a little bit nervous. Or it can be to check that the harp is in tune. And so we'll talk about it, and someone is playing some, the Naderman sonata, I believe. Yes. Yeah. Anyway, so Naderman in his sonatas, he gives us already a prelude in before each sonata, and they're very simple. And so it's something that we can use in our performances. Here, I'll just do it on like 3 chords. I'll do the tonic chord, dominant chord, tonic chord, and then I'll start the actual piece. And so I'll just, I don't know what I'll play yet, but I'll just try something to feel the harp and give the character the affect that I want for the piece. And now we repeat. Thank you. So it was just to show you a few examples of what we can do with this harp. Yeah, now let's hear other people play other types of harp. I'll move this. Yeah, so everyone can play their piece, and then we can go back in order to each of them to talk about specific things and try things together, and yeah.
I have a question.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I just wanted to say, at any time, if you have questions or if I go too fast over something, please do ask.
Would it be possible to hear the opening of the Handel harp concerto
Yes.
on that harp?
Yes, good question.
Really cool.
Yes. So actually, so to play the harp concerto is in B flat, so you would tune the harp in B flat. But let me think. I can play the beginning of the second section.
There's also a question
Yes, yes.
online about how do you tune the harp?
Right. So it's really like a regular harp. You can see all the it just has more tuning pins. And so usually I'll tune one row of white keys just with my tuner, and then I'll tune the other row just with my ear to the same notes. And then in between I'll tune again with my tuner. But in earlier times, sometimes we don't use an equal temperament, or all the semitones are not exactly precisely like on a piano. So for instance, today I chose to tune the D flats a little low and the E flats a little high. So I have two different notes so that I can play like a B major chord and then an E flat major. And then if I go back, so they're slightly different, so that gives us more color.
Speaking of
Yeah.
tuning, actually,
Yeah.
do you tune to A440?
You're right. So at different times in history and in different countries, they tune to different pitches. So the A was not always the A that we use today. So today it is tuned a semitone lower than 440. It is tuned at 415 because tomorrow I rehearse for a project at 415. But they also sometimes used 440 or even higher, a whole semitone or even a tone higher to like 460 or even 500. And you hope that you're not asked to play at those pitches as a harpist, because I think it would break the strings. Yeah. Yes?
You said there's all the semitones on the,
Yes.
on the harp. So
Yes.
why do you say you have to retune it every time?
Very good question. When you try it out, I think you'll know in a few seconds it gets very awkward to play in between the rows. So if I try to say, just to play like a E flat major scale, which on the lever harp would just be all the levers down, I have to go inside the rows for all the flats. So to a point it gets very, very difficult. Yes. You know what? At the end, I'll detune it at the end, and I'll play you the beginning of it. Good question. Yeah. All right. Did you have any questions for now, or should we hear some more harp?
Question?
Yeah.
You're playing quite close to the sound.
Yes.
Is that stylistically?
Yes. So those harps, it's a good question, and there are different answers. Like often on the harp, we'll say, "Oh, we'll play close to the soundboard as an effect, and then back in the middle." It's absolutely something that they did. And even harpsichords at different stops. So you would change a lever, or in the organ pull a stop to change the sound. So on this harp, because the strings are very wobbly, like there's no tension, it makes a big difference when you play in the middle, or if you play very close. So you can have big contrast. Let's say you could. So they really loved to have a variety of colors, and harps had that difference up until the 20th century, when we had bigger harps with more tension, and then we hear it a little bit less. But we can still play près de la table as an effect. That's absolutely something, and it's also louder when we play down here. So when you play with others, you can't play here, or no one will hear you. So if you're playing an opera, you really want to cut through, even though the sound is not as pretty. Yeah. All right, let's play some harp. So what should we try for the order?
I was suggesting that maybe La Carmia could do the Nottingham first, and I was mentioning to Antoine, you're starting this piece. So it's a work in, it's a little early.
Yeah, it's a work in great.
It's a work in progress.
Yes, that's great. We'll work. Yeah, I love finding solutions to weird problems and all that.
So you're gonna do this too. We just got the piece about, what, 3 weeks ago? It's not long.
Here, I'll try and find an angle for the camera also that looks good.
Oh, good, you're doing all that. All the
Maybe
switches.
like that. I
Yeah,
think that
that's
should be
fine.
good for the camera. Yes.
Yeah, actually, that would be the music stand.
Yes.
No, I was signing up for this.
Yes, you did.
I will just try things together.
There we go. And I'll just turn oh, do you need the stand light on?
No.
No? Oh, actually, it's just unplugged, it's over here.
Oh, I unplugged it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to trip over there.
Okay, all right, so we'll just, so you don't need it though? Well, if you don't need it, then I'm gonna take it away. So it's just like one
Yeah, I
less.
don't need it.
Okay, I'll give it back to whoever wants it for,
Oh.
I'll just put it over there.
Actually, and if you're up for it, this is a great time to like try a thing like a way you've never tried it, or just to see if it works, or if it doesn't work, that's fine too. You can just try if you want to try like some playing it a different way or anything you've been trying. It's a good opportunity. I'll go sit.
Oh, and do you know how to, I don't know if you guys use that chair, you can go up and down, I can go up and down, there's a little thing on the side, on the right-hand side, I'll show you how it works, so that if you're not comfortable at that height, how does it feel like?
It feels a little bit tall.
Okay, I'll show you how this works. The fancy chair, this was my chair that I got for the symphony. So on the right-hand side, there's a lever on this one, and it goes up or it goes down, but you sit on it and then you decide where you want to be. But then you can also stand up and let it come back up again, so if is that too low or is it?
I don't know, it feels different.
Okay,
Maybe a little bit higher.
okay, I think that's it.
Nice.
Good job. We've never played on this harp before either.
Yes, yes.
I don't know what happened to the pedal. It didn't.
What's that?
The pedal.
The pedals feel a little different?
Weird.
Yeah, on a rug too, it's all through.
Yes, on
a
a rug it feels different.
Considering how little time we've had on that piece.
Nice.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah. So who's next?
Should we have Helen last? Then we have the
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah,
So I'll be
okay.
there. So who's next then? Who would you like to-
Grace or Ellie? Ellie first? Grace? Oh, Grace first? Okay. Do you and you want your shoe? Okay. I think we might need to figure out the chair.
Oh, yes. Yeah, so also these chairs, if it's the metal harp or the others.
So this is up and down.
Yeah, so to go
So this is up and down.
yeah, so the one on the, yeah, that one there.
This one. Grace, you need to sit on it.
So you sit on it and they decide.
Decide.
You know, and you want,
Sit
yes.
on it and then
So
press.
then we will also put this back up so you can see your music.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it. And, okay, whoops, there, okay, now just plug it in. Find the end, here it is. And I think there's a, yes, there's a thing here. Perfect.
And is it high enough?
And then this goes.
Yeah, this is good. You don't need to adjust.
There, now you can see.
Yeah,
Right.
good. Check pedals. Yeah, good. Okay, you want to try anything? Just go. It feels different, right? Yes.
The pedals feel kind of weird.
Okay, Elizabeth.
What's it?
The pedal feels kind of weird. It's also it also has a rock too,
Yeah, the
so
one
it,
that-
it feels when you press on it, it sinks in a little bit.
Now, do we use the pedal part for the next one or the?
What do you prefer? You don't know. Okay, you can try. Do you bring her music? Try both. So she has a Salvi Titan.
Okay.
Ah, so the spacing is different on the Dusties too.
Oh, I
So try both, and then you decide. Okay? You have your music?
It's always weird start trying on, playing on somebody else's part. You've never played it before, then, all your
Yes.
muscle memory is thrown off. and yeah.
Did we introduce the piece?
Oh,
What was the title of the piece you heard? Yeah, the Giga by.
By it's transposed by Salcedo.
And who is the composer of the original piece?
And
Corelli.
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 Right, Italian composer. I forget his first name. Maybe.
Maybe.
Oh, I've got music over here.
His last name is Corelli. Yes.
There's probably an initial.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, there's an initial.
Los Angeles, sorry.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, you try maybe a couple bars to see if you're comfortable, and then we can switch. Yeah, I know. So that's the B. Okay, and trying it out. Yeah. And this feels different too, right? Yeah. Okay. And that's the only one you change, right? Yeah. Okay. So try pressing on it to see if you have to press harder. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay. And is the height comfortable? Try a couple bars.
Yeah, so it's called Harmonique by.
I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like Francois Couperin.
Yeah, that's it.
Ellie studied this piece for a while ago, and she stopped practicing this for a while. And then we found out there's this workshop, so I asked Ellie to come prepare, but she'll prepare about half of it. Yeah.
No, that's perfect.
That's good.
Thank you.
And then the last one is
Oh.
Helen on the.
Yes, so Helen, I'm going to ask you to unmute. And then I'm going to put her, I can pin her, I think. There. Eh? And then there's spotlight.
Yeah. I'll sit on the chair over there.
Yeah, there's probably a good spot.
Yeah, or I can.
Or wherever.
There we go.
Here's fine.
Okay, I'll just.
Eh? No, but it went back to here. Hang on.
If anyone
Sorry.
wants to see, it's sort of hard because I've got that thing in the way, so if you want to come in here or.
There we go. This is okay. Yes.
This, and it's still. So it's morning tomorrow.
Oh, it's morning for her, yeah.
Hello.
Great.
What?
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. What will you play for us?
The Baroque.
Right, the Passacaille by Handel.
Yeah.
Great. you. Thank you. So I think that's the music we have for now. Great.
Shall we work our ways backwards?
Yes, I think so. We'll work backwards, so we can talk about the Handel Passacaille first. So I'll just say a few words about what we'll be looking for, like everyone, because there are things that just basic things that are good for all music from the like Renaissance up until the 20th century that we can keep in mind when we want to play this music. And so the first one is it's more of a Baroque term, but they instead of referring to the character of a piece, they called it the affect. So A-F-F-E-C-T. And that has to do with the fact, are you still with us, Helen?
We just lost the picture.
Maybe we just lost the picture.
Just turn the camera.
Okay, great. You can still hear us, Helen?
Yep.
Should I translate?
Yes,
Oh,
great.
yes, if you could translate that, great.
Yes, and stop me if I speak too quickly.
小黑，我在这边帮你翻译哈。OK。
Or raise your hand. So we use the term to talk about emotions and character in the 17th and 18th century. They use the word affect, or the way emotions affect our body.
所以他们会用这个 affect with an A, right? A-F-F-E-C-T 来形容如何去影响我们身体。
And so that's different in the Romantic period. In the Romantic period, we often see like one big emotion and that just washes over. Think of like a big opera that's very dramatic and everything's dramatic, blah, blah, blah. But for the humans in the Baroque, in the 17th and 18th century, emotions were more like chemistry. Like if someone steals your dinner, you get angry. But it's not because you think, oh, well, how am I going to eat, blah, blah, blah. It's because suddenly your body is filled with, now we know it's hormones and different chemicals, and that makes your whole body react. So it's emotions in Baroque music are very in the body. It's very visceral, and you react to something. Good luck.
I hope I caught that. 所以这个身体里边有很多的荷尔蒙，然后完了我们的这个情绪会受到这些荷尔蒙的影响，然后 yeah something like that. I made it short.
身体受这个影响，
Yeah，
就是有很大的反应。
身体跟着你的情绪去走，对 something like that.
So if you think, actually, if you think of like a stereotype we'd have of an Italian person that is very like expressive like that, and you can have one emotion, like at some point you're angry because you lost your dinner, but then you see someone you love, so everything becomes like tender and then open to the other person. That's just one example, and then you have to go because you're late for class, then you're stressed. And so it's really in your body, right? It's not, you don't think, oh, now I should be stressed, oh, now I should do that. And it's very, like you switch emotions just like that. So that's how people understood emotion in Europe in the 17th and 18th century, that you were just doing what they called them the humors. It's the theory of the humors in European medicine, but it's just your body chemistry changes, and so you have emotions.
Okay. 欧洲石器四纪 century 17世纪跟18世纪的时候，这个是他们的 belief， 他们相信的东西，
信念，
心念，就是有可能你是很 angry， 很生气，你会很生气，但是你看到你喜欢的人，你会很温柔。他相信这个跟情绪跟身体就是连在一起的，自然生产的。但是你有可能会迟到，上课的时候迟到，那个时候也会很难受，紧张，就是这样。
And so the question that I will be asking everyone, and that I always ask myself if I play any piece of music written before, let's say, the 20th century, is what is the character, but more than that, what is the affect? How do I feel? Or like, how do I feel in my body? And once we've found the affect, the emotion, the character, then all we do is find all the tools in our toolbox to make other people feel and hear that emotion, right? So if I'm very angry, I'm probably not going to play softly and slowly. And so in Baroque music, often it's not written, right? They just say allegro, forte, and then that's it. And so it's our job, not just job, but it's fun because you get to decide what that means for you and how you feel it in your body. So if, let's say the Handel Passacaille is a good example because it's not 100% clear what the emotion or the affect should be at the beginning. So you can decide, is it, are you very proud and presenting pom, pa-pom, 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 pa-pom? It makes me think of the ballet music by Jean-Baptiste Lully, French Baroque, a little bit earlier, where it's very ceremonial and slow, and you're proud and you're grounded, so you can't play too fast, you can't play too soft. Or is it angry or with despair because it's very like ta-tam, pa-pam, pa-pam? So you have to decide, and I would love to tell you to tell me what is the character that you decide for the beginning.
Should I translate all that before asking her? Okay. 所以老师说巴洛克时期的时候，他们的这个音乐拿起来的时候，他没有写什么样的情感，所以他会自己去思考一下，这个时候应该弹什么样的情感出来。然后他说这个Passacaille 的时候，他想问你，你刚开始是用什么样的情绪去带入他的这个开头？
It's better to find the character in your language, not in English.
你用中文可以，你跟我说，我帮你翻译。
就是坚定的，
大声点，我听不到。
坚定的，
Very firm, like very determined.
Determined. Right, so you feel that in your body. I'm just saying I do the same. If I find a character, I'll do it in French because it's my first language. And then I'll find a translation after. Yes, so it's firm, you're sure of yourself. And is that positive or negative?
是正面还是负面的
You decide, there's no right answer.
Positive.
Yes, I think I would choose the same character. Right, so we have a bit of joy, but also we're serious and sure of ourselves. And I think we could all hear that in the way you played it. And now, so that's already something, that's our base. So we'll find everything to go with that. Now is the fun part is that especially in variations, the emotion, the affect can change. And so what we'll look at is to find a character for each variation.
所以每一个变奏其实它是一个情绪的转换，所以老师说到时候可以看一下这个每一个变奏它是会出现什么样的情绪。
And so could you play us the beginning with that very clear emotion at the beginning? Just a few bars, just so we feel that emotion with you.
开头情绪丰满点哈。
And then, can you find the most different variation? The variation that is the most different in character from that?
哪一个变奏的情绪最不一样
And then, before you play it,
弹之前
we'll try it together. Can we try to find an emotion for that variation?
你先找一个变奏，然后再找一下他的情绪是什么样的。
Maybe the one that goes.
你知道他说哪一个吗？
Which variation is that? Second or third?
不是哒哒哒哒哒哒哒。
The second variation.
第二变奏， 你先想一个情绪，什么情绪？你说一下啊？
温柔
哦，soft
gentle,
tender，
soft, tender.
Yes. So, all right, let's try with that.
试一下。
Yeah, great. Now I think we can make it even more tender. If you were playing it to like a little baby to lull it to sleep, what specifically could we do? I like that it's soft and it's not too fast.
像摇篮曲那样子，你可以做什么去让它更温柔一些
轻一点。
？Softer, play softer.
Yes, sure.
OK，试一下。
Right. It's a good idea. Now I think we can keep just the main note, the main important notes. That's great in Baroque music to find the notes that are very important. And like here we go, ba da da, and then it's just a scale, la 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 la, ba da dum, la 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 la. So we could have the pam 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 louder, and then the rest is just a little whisper.
前面3个音大声一点，后面轻一点哈。
我怎么推到嗦？
Now, I don't know what you heard, but I heard also most of the melody is now in the third finger. And we hear this beautiful descending line, and it's very tender. It's exactly the character that you chose for this variation. Great. So here, what I'm doing basically is, I'll get a little bit technical. It's to work with, it's a big word, but it's the rhetoric. So basically the rhetoric is just the art of discourse, of speaking. And it's like if you do a speech in school, like, do you want to make your, what do you want to do? Do you want to make your friends laugh? Do you want to please the teacher? Do you want to explain something? So let's say if you want to make your friends laugh, well, you have to find some jokes or something, right? You can't just say all the information and hope that they find it funny. Like you'll put in a joke. So here it's the same thing. We'll find what we're trying to do, and here we're trying to play something tender. And so how am I going to play tender? Then we find with the volume, with the difference in weight in notes. So we pick the main notes and the rest we didn't need too much. And so you can always look at every character like that to find just the different tools, and you can play it to someone and say, can you guess what character I'm doing? And if they don't get it, you have to do even more until you found, oh yes, now it's clear. That's great. I'm just looking at what I wrote. Oh yes, there's a variation with difficult pedal changes. My tip would be to play the left hand louder so people don't listen to the tough spot.
有听懂吗
还是想一下。
？OK， I think she got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so you can choose to direct the attention because there are two melodies. There's the bass left hand melody and the right hand melody. You choose what notes are important. So if you want to bring people's attention, here you go. Look, listen to that. Don't listen to that too much. If you listen to recordings of the pianist Glenn Gould playing Bach on the piano, that's something that he did so well. He would choose one of the voices, like playing some Bach, let's say, he would choose the third voice in the middle and then play this one as the main notes. And then everything else was in the background. And so he'd bring our attention to that line. So we can certainly do that. Or if you want to play tender, but the left hand goes crazy, then you play that soft and you focus on the tender part. Yeah, and also if things are difficult, then you can hide the difficult things. Yes. And the last thing I'll mention is to think in big beats. So what we call the tactus. Here we have it's a pasakai, right? So we have one big beat with two little ones. So you have pam padam. Is it pam padam? Oh, is it in 4?
Yes.
Oh yeah. So we have one big. Wait, how does that make sense? Pam padam padam. Yeah. Sorry. Actually, this is maybe something we can clarify. I think, isn't it? Dum padam 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 pam pam padam padam.
Music.
Did I conduct that correctly?
Hang on a minute.
So this
可
is
以看看那个谱子吗？
小云，你把谱子放那个上面给我们看一下，可以吗？
他说的是心跳，心跳嘛，4 他说的是心跳，就是心跳
Nice.
heartbeat.
Thank you. Yeah. So here in 4/4 in Baroque music or even classical music, it's always good to find one big beat, because this is a dance, right? The pasakai would have been a French dance. We want one big beat, boom, and then from there you go all the way to the second big beat. So if I were to dance, I'm not going to, but if I were to dance the first measure, I would go bum padam 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 dadam padam padam pam pam padam. So that visually it's very clear that it's not pam pa pam pa pam pa pam pam, or else you don't know on which beat you are, and then we couldn't tell how many beats were. So to put it more simply, we want loud big beats and soft other beats. And this works for all the music, unless it's like a specific dance that we'll talk about in the giga. That's a good example. That's the opposite. In the giga, we have one foot movement per note. So if you have ta 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 pa pa pa, you go tuk 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 tuk. So it's very virtuosic for the dancer. But so for the pasakai, could we try just the first line, where we have a very strong first beat, and so very strong left hand on the first beat, and then on the third beat we'll go lighter, and then the right hand gets very light until we get to the same measure. Let's just try it and see how that feels.
第一拍是重的，然后其他的是轻的，然后再到第2个八，第一拍也是重的。
I think we need even more to understand. So something else you could do is roll the first beat and make it very loud, and then the middle of the bar can be flat and soft.
重拍的时候，你可以去爬音，然后剩下的你就是很轻。你懂他的大拍子吗？他刚才说的大拍子有听懂吗？刚才老师唱的那一段，你试试看，重的那些爬音试一下。
Yes, that's getting there. I think often we think we do a lot, but it makes a little difference. So we need to do even more. Can you try to the extreme where we almost cannot hear?
极端一点，现在极端一点，重的很重，轻的非常轻。
夸张一点啊。
Nice. Ooh, and the way you finished it was great. Also, you went pom 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 And it's not pom, 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 which is not very graceful for a dancer to do, or if you accompany a dancer. So the way you did it was great. So on the strong beats, we have lots of energy, whoop, and then on the smaller beats, it's light. You can try it with any piece that you play, with the first beat being stronger, and then all the other beats being lighter. And it makes it easier also to not to get stuck in all the notes, because we really focus on the dance and being rounded and bouncing from one big beat to the other. Great. Wonderful. I think maybe we should. Thank you. I think we'll move on. Did you have a specific question?
有任何问题吗？No.
Okay.
OK， 好。
Thank you. Thank you. Bravo. Great. And so then, if we go back to the harmonique. Yeah, here, I'll sit this. I'll have questions for you before we play. So, I loved how the balance of the left hand, your left hand was always very clear. And that's great because, again, Baroque music is often more like speaking than singing, where we're trying to convince people, to move people, to, if you play a fugue, to explain something to people. And so we always want things to be clear. It's not like a whoosh like Debussy and then you just receive it and you're like, oh, that's pretty. No, we tell a story. So it's about telling a story with it. And so it's hard to find just like that, but can we find a character for that piece, for harmonique? Or maybe if you already think of like a story or an emotion or how you feel when you play it.
It's like kind of light.
Yes, there's something light for sure. Yes. So if we try to think how we feel that in our body. So is it? I imagine it's positive. If it's light, right? It's like here. Maybe it's happy or slightly happy, or is it very happy? Slightly happy. Sure. Yeah. I see actually that in this edition they write hints or they suggest a character at the beginning. Right? They write piano dolce con tenerezza. Do you know what that means? So dolce, of course, is soft and like a sweet. So exactly like you said, light. And then tenerezza in Italian is tender. So it's yes. I'm trying to find another good synonym in English, but yeah.
Tender, soft,
Yeah.
gentle.
Yeah, gentle.
Gentle.
Yes. So it's loving and all that. So yeah, exactly like you said. And so if we find one emotion in like one or two words, could it be like a gently happy or happy with love? I would like us to, let's pick one and then we can try the first phrase with that character to see if it's a good idea or if we need another one. So what should we try for the first try if we pick an emotion or a character for it? Gently happy. I like that. So can it could even just be the first, like from here to here, just gently happy. And then we'll play with we'll try another character after, just for fun. Nice. And then could we do extremely happy? Like you just got the gift you really wanted and you're like, yay! You're so happy that you do little trills. You go, little. Can we have even more happy? So like too happy, like a movie where someone is doing way too much and like you almost laugh at that person because they're playing too happy. Nice. I loved how the ornaments, your trills now were like almost like giggles. That's great. So I love this character. So it's slightly happy, but not too slightly, pretty happy. Yeah, nice. And so I would like, so everything, the phrasing is beautiful and all that. I wouldn't change a thing. What we can play with, because it looks a little bit like it's not a dance, but French Baroque music is always dance. They're always dancing, even if it's sad or if it's slow, it's always a dance. And so I would love for us to have a strong first beat and then a light middle of the bar. And this is interesting, right? Because we don't start on the first beat. We have an upbeat. So instead of bum, 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 it's the opposite. Bum, bum, pa, da, dum, bum, pa, da, dum. Can we try that? Even if it feels awkward, that's okay. Nice. Nice. Yeah. Great. And so now we understand why the composer put ornaments on those first beats, because he wanted us to feel them even more big. Yes, so what we want with those ornaments, we can, in Italian they'd say an appoggiatura, which just means to press against. In French it's appuyer, so like if you go like that, it's like you do an appoggiatura on the armrest of that chair. So it's really weight, that's it. It's not like you can't rest like that. It has to be like weight. So that's exactly what he does. And on the harpsichord, for which this piece is written, you don't have dynamics. So that's why they put the trill. Again, because they had the character, they wanted happy, and they had to find tools to make us know that the first beat is loud to bounce off. So their tool was trills. We also have dynamics. So we can add, the same trill was beautiful, and then even like we can press on it. So, bum, pum, 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 pum. Da, la, da, da. Something like that. You can try something. Even if it's funny, that's okay. Yeah, very nice. Yes, that absolutely works. And then, if you're up for it, there's one more thing we could add to that ornament. So, maybe I'll just take a minute to talk about ornaments in Baroque music. They're different at in every country, in every period, they change all the time. So there's no one answer, like should it be from the same note, ta-da-da, or should we start one note above, ta-da-da-da, or should it be long, ta-da-da-da-da-da-da, or short, ta-da-da. So what we do is we Google ornaments couperin, and then what you can find is what is called an ornament table. So they would publish couperin. Actually, I Googled it before coming because I wanted to make sure I didn't say silly things about ornaments. So I Googled couperin ornament table, and it turns out that in his first book of harpsichord pieces, couperin has a whole page. Here are my ornaments, here's how you play them. And that's very, very common in the 17th and 18th century because it was every composer almost, or every country did things differently. And so, it turns out that couperin says that trills usually are started from the note above the printed note. So if the main note here is an E, right, we have do, fa, mi, re, do, and we have do, fa, trill, tam, pa. So he would have played, sorry, I can't do solfege in English, it's too hard for my brain. I'll try. C, F, F, E, F, E, F, E, F, E. Just one, sorry. So C, F, F, E, F, E, D, C, F, F, E, F, E. And the reason for that is that we want even more pressing on the downbeat. If we have just E, fa, mi, fa, mi, it's still pretty light, but if we have da, 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 it's even more expressive. But I know it's like a complicated, it's difficult to change, but could we try just the right hand? So do you know what fingering you would use for a trill that would go F, E, F, E? Whatever comes first is, it could be 1 2 1 2. Yes. So I would like, or maybe like 2 3 1 2. But 1 2 1 2 is great too. Yes, nice. And so you could do how, I'll just show, I would go, so you can really feel that I'm pressing on it, do, pum, pum. Basically how I would sing it, because I couldn't sing, I would sing, nam, pum, pum. Nice. And the last thing that is the hardest thing for us harpists, because we always learn to roll chords before the beat and to go pram. In Baroque times, that's something for every country. They would do it starting on the beat, meaning because you can't press before you're on the armrest, or you can't go into it. It's not as elegant as pressing into it, and so you go. Dum pum pa da dum pum 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 pum. Can we try it? I know it's a. Let's do it just the right hand. Yes, and one way to practice it is to make it simpler and just do do fa fa mi re do pum pa da. And when you feel that, then you can use the same feeling in. You can keep your ornament, but with that same feeling. Can we try, let's say, just the appoggiatura, so C, F, F, E, D, C. Does that make sense? Nice. And now can you play your ornament exactly as you were playing it, but with that feeling of pressing on the big beats? Yes. Yeah, and here is the same thing. Ti lam pao or ti lam pao. But then here you have the choice. You can go, because it's the end of the phrase and you finished with what you wanted to say. You can finish na da da da, or you can finish na da da. That's up to you. So here you could certainly, the way you played it now, a little bit softly here, that was great because it's the end of your phrase. Great, yeah. Wanted to see, what I read? Oh yeah, there's the end of a section where the left hand, we had a lot of ringing. Might it be here? Can you play like a little bit before then going into the next section? You can start wherever is comfortable. Yes, good idea. Yes, and here we can still hear the bass going underneath it. And the only reason I care is that I kept listening to it instead of listening to your new section. If it was the same chord underneath, I wouldn't even hear it. But here, because we want clarity in the story we're telling, we finished that. So I would find a way to muffle. You could even, maybe like while you play the B flat, can you try that? I don't know if we have time. Like, where can we start? Can we start just on the pa-di-dum, pa-pum, with a B natural? Yes, nice. You can start a little bit before if you want. So, yes, B natural. If you need to, you can certainly stretch the time here and take more time on that, wherever you want actually. Fa di dum dum pa da, and then you could wait here da da ba da da, or do dum bum 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 bum, wherever you want. But it's like if you're taking a breath in your story and then you go and do something else. Nice, great. And again, so the main things are strong first beats and light middle of the bar, and so you can practice just one hand at a time is great, or even just play it once, focusing only on that. Even just the left hand by itself, you go lam pom 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 podi lam pom 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 podi da dum pom pa da la da yim pom pom. Yeah, that works well.
I have a question.
Yes, yes.
You know, you talk about the breath. I think sometimes when we do Baroque music, we try to keep it at tempo, at
Yes.
the right rhythm. But then breath is necessary too.
Yes.
How do we decide when and how much for it to still being at the right style?
Yes, the great question. So here, I think that thinking of like dance can help also, because what we want is that big beat, or the tactus. So if you have one big beat, you can slow it down if you need, but you can't stop and then go again like the heartbeat. Sometimes it can slow down or it can go faster, but you don't just take a break like that, or you hope not, or else you don't want that. But so one trick is to imagine how you could dance it perhaps. So if I finish, if I go from here, I would go da dee da dee dum pa da dum pa da dum. And what I did, I really stretched it, but I want to still feel the big beat. So pam pi da dum pa da dum pa da dum. You could even stretch it a lot. Pam ti dem da dee dem pa da dum. Sometimes they do that in traditional music in lots of cultures where they'll wait before and they go pam 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 pam. So we can use that, but it's not waiting and then pa pa pam 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 pam, because it just feels wrong. Yes, so we can find places to breathe, and then the other great way to find that and to find your phrasing. For Baroque musicians, the voice is the ultimate instrument. So everything is in imitation of the voice, because that's the easiest way to tell a story and to move people. So I always practice Baroque music singing. And if I can't sing it, it's probably not the best idea. Or it's probably not the best phrasing, because I don't want to go la 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 la, like you want to. So that's why I kept singing it, and it's even better than playing it. Usually I sing it once, or I sing it until it sounds good enough, and then I play on the harp until I can match what I've just sung. Yeah. Yeah, so you can try even, you don't need to for the first phrase, because the phrasing was already great, but in this piece or another piece, oh here, this one is more bizarre, right? Dum pa dum. Could you try and sing, or we could sing it together from here? Just the melody for a couple bars, just to see how it feels when you sing it. Would you be willing to try that? Can I sing it then? Also, I'll sing it without doing anything first, just to hear the notes. Bum pum 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 pa pum pa 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 bum pum bum pum bum pum bum pum bum pum bum pum pum bum. Doesn't mean much. It's a little bit weird, like why the jumps and all that. So I'll try and find something else better that I can do. Pum 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 pa da lam pum pa do pum pa lam pa dum pum pa da dum bo dem pa dum. Something like that. I don't know. And so then I'll practice to match that with the harp. Just to find, can we try just the right hand of that variation? Just because it's the most bizarre. And we can try it either with or without the ornaments, as you prefer. Yeah, how does it feel? Now we're trying something different, right? But here I see that the main notes are actually here, right? A, C, G, C, A, C, G. So can we focus on those notes? So, pum, 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 pum. Yeah, and then as they suggest with the crescendo, pum, pa, da, di, pa, da, da. Nice. Can we do the same thing and go at the end of to the end of that variation? Yeah. Can we do it one last time and we'll keep the crescendo all the way to the end because we're sort of rising. And so here the interest is really there in the right hand, so your left hand. Can we try that passage with the left hand? But here we're almost not listening to the left hand. We'll focus on what we've been doing because that's the interesting part. This is not just for Baroque music, but for any type of music. It's always worth to find the primary thing, the primary material. Often it's the melody, right? You bring our attention there, and the rest is just in the background supporting. Right? Did you have any specific questions or things that you were curious about? No? Great. Yeah, awesome.
There are two questions
Yes.
online. I'm just going to read it.
Yes.
Leona is asking, what are some techniques we can employ to have the harp affect the quality of a harpsichord when playing?
Ah, that's a good question. I think that the harp is even better than the harpsichord to play a lot of the Baroque music because we can be more expressive with the difference in sound when we play close to the soundboard or in the middle of the strings, and then we can play softer and louder. So a couple ideas that we can play with is, yes, playing close to the soundboard or in the middle of the strings and changing like that. There's also the arpeggios. That's something, sometimes we just roll arpeggios the same way, but if I go back to the Passacaglia that we played earlier, if I only play the big rhythm, I could go. So we can vary the rolls so much. We could go. From like very light and short to big. So we can always play with different ways to roll. Each roll can be different. Yes, and then playing sometimes short, we can stop strings, right? We can go. If I go, or rather. Now it makes it sound a little bit funny, but it's something we can play with.
Yes. The other question is from Rebecca. What was the ornament table that was recommended?
Right. So, so let's say if I'm playing some Bach, I will Google ornament table Bach.
So ornament table and the composer.
Yes. And so if in the case of Handel, there is no, he didn't publish an ornament table, but you can just find another composer from the same country and same period.
Country
So-
and period.
Yes,
That's
yes. So
okay.
Bach is close enough to Handel that it's going to be pretty much the same.
Ah.
And if you can't find, the composer, sometimes you can find in methods of the same period. So I can find a harpsichord method from the 18th century.
Oh, like
online.
a method book.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
It takes a little bit more time, but you'll find your answers. And the last way to do it, which I love, is to listen to recordings of good harpsichordists or lute players. And you can compare them and just copy their ornaments. I love doing that. I take, if I'm working on a Handel piece, I listen to harpsichordists that are better than me at playing Handel, and I will take a score of the piece and I'll write down their ornaments. Then I will try them on my harp, and I'll just keep the ones that I can do well and that I think sound good. Yes, and then you learn by imitation. Find a recording of the piece that you like, and you can steal the ornaments. Yeah,
Good idea.
nice. Great.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I have a book that I purchased for teaching, and it has different periods of music and what the ornamentation would be.
Oh.
So it's not as specific as that, but if
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a composer that I don't know, like couldn't find it,
Yeah.
it will actually show what the typical ornamentation is, whether it's the trill or, the
Mm-hmm.
other ones.
You have a book, you said?
Yeah, I have a book. I can't
Ah.
remember what it is, but it's pretty thin, and
Oh,
I just
okay.
refer to it as I need.
Mm-hmm.
I remember there was a huge book by Neumann,
Yes.
like this thick, of just all the different decades and countries and like pages and pages of ornaments for.
Usually, to make it simple, if you play music from the 18th century, usually we start from the note above the written note. So if it's a C with a trill on it, usually it will start with a D. Unless it makes like weird mistakes where you have like parallel octaves, or sometimes with the harp we cheat. If it makes a pedal noise because you need a C sharp and then the ornament would be with like a C natural, then you can totally cheat. That's totally fine. I had a lute professor with whom I took harp lessons, and he said, "Oh, just go with whatever feels best under your fingers." And so his view was a little bit more extreme, but also, like, if it doesn't sound that great, maybe just pick another ornament. Often on the harp, it sounds better to go simpler. So instead of like trying to do a long, big, complicated trill, maybe just an appoggiatura is fine. Like we did in Sœur Monique to go. Oh, sorry, I don't know the notes of the left hand, but. That's totally fine and very expressive. And then if I were playing on the harpsichord, maybe I could go. But it sounds ridiculous on the harp. You can hear the struggle. Yeah, so often on the harp, simplifying ornaments and keeping only a few key ones is always a good idea. Yes? All right.
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
Carmia,
Like,
did you want to go over the
Do you-
Natterman or not?
I would love to.
Yeah. Did.
Yeah, we had the Natterman and
And the
yeah,
jigger.
the jig.
Jigger.
Should we start with the jig? Yeah.
The Camia has to go soon,
Oh, okay.
or
Or
yeah.
do you want to do the jigga first?
Up to you. I have no preference.
Well, the Carmen's just getting dinner, actually, just. dinner. So why don't we do the jigga first?
You go first. Okay.
all right. We're starting.
Elizabeth, do you know if they really monitor the parking meters around here?
Oh, I have no idea. Do you have like mobile where you can?
No,
You can extend?
I don't. No, I have to go. I had it until like 9:07.
Oh, okay.
Right, nice. Great. Oh, it's fun to also have a piece that's in the work. Because it's hard to change a piece. Sometimes, like, even I have learned pieces of Baroque music before I had more knowledge about it. And sometimes I just keep those pieces as I learned them, and they're beautiful like that. And then for new pieces, I incorporate the new knowledge that I have. Because again, like, what we call historically informed performance is just one way to approach that music, right? There's no police, there's no right or wrong. If you play the music and you like the way you play it and it touches people, that's great. That's all. The most important thing is to do something with it. Like make it speak, make it touch people. And so one of the ways to do that is to find the way in which composers and musicians played that music when it was written, because it was their language. But it's the way to appropriate this music so it feels like it's your language, and so that people can listen to it and feel touched and moved by it. Yeah. And so, but before you start, could we find a character for, this is interesting, it starts with a prelude, but the prelude is really just a little something before the main thing. So can we think of a affect or character for that? We can try a couple different ones. Like we could pick like 2 or 3 and try them out, see if they feel right.
I feel like it's an elegant princess coming out of like a hall.
Okay, all right. So that's a good description, and now we have to find what that means emotionally. So is it her emotion or is it our emotion watching her?
I don't know.
We can decide that we can. So let's say if it's, is it a positive or negative emotion?
I think it feels pretty strong.
Strong? Strongly positive? Is she happy about what's going on? Or is she unsure? She might be unsure.
Unsure.
Unsure? All right, let's go with that. So there's something like we don't know what's happening. Maybe it's, yeah, there's lots of moving notes, and maybe it could even be a little scary, or maybe she's running out or something.
Maybe it's because I feel scary.
Yeah, that's fine. We can certainly put it in. So let's try once, just not the prelude, but the beginning of the main theme with that character of maybe slightly scared, and should we try that?
I think actually in the actual words on the page, I think it says something about despair.
Yeah, or even actually it says irresoluto.
Oh, I think you had another one. 6 of those sonatines.
Oh yeah, and this one in the prelude he gives us irresoluto, which means without resolution, so it's unsure.
Yeah.
Actually, now that great. You know, I said there was no right or wrong answer, but I think you found the right answer.
Okay.
So if we start here, then we'll match the prelude to that after. So we're unsure, but there's something maybe a little scared, and like when you're like a little bit afraid of what might come. Yeah, nice. I think we could all tell there are like little moments, it seems beautiful, and then something scary. And at the end of that movement, he does write a sforzando on those pom, pom, I think on the 4th page. Like here, there's nothing written, but when it comes back, sorry, I'll find it. Oh yeah, here. So later in the piece, he gives us more. So, but he already did it everywhere, so that's perfect.
I think I feel it.
Yes, absolutely.
Duration
Yes.
accent.
And so if you're scared, could we try and go faster with the left hand? Here we're going to get a little bit technical, but I know it's on the harps that Naderman played, they were much smaller with strings much lighter, and you can go so fast, and it's very easy. But we play a different instrument, so we have to give the illusion that it's fast and easy. Well, let's just do the left hand once. Can you try like at a little too fast for you? Like so fast that you might fall off. Just to see. Nice. Nice. I love what you're doing here. You're closing the fingers in. It's nice. Now if your thumb is just slightly higher, and when you close it, we'll hear it as loud as the other fingers, I think. So we might need a little extra closing on the thumb. Can we try just, if you anchor 2 and 3 on G and E and go do bom bom bom, just 4-1, 4-1. And then if you go even faster, just to see how that feels. Okay, so that's very nice and stable. And then if we put back the other notes, maybe not as fast. I think I'm yeah, and then you can relax your wrist. Sorry.
The problem that my thumb always doesn't sound.
Yes.
Because I think it's because I'm pulling here, but the thumb doesn't pull over here. It pushes that way.
Yeah.
So I don't have that strength and then push that way in a fast amount.
Yeah. Can I see how my hand would do it? We'll see if it. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm not sure. So I'm closing here, right? Instead of down here. So maybe I'm not closing as much. You were nicely closing into the hand, but maybe here we don't have time. So here, this is stable. I think my hand's a little bit bigger. I'll try it on a bigger thing just to see. Right now we're getting closer. So I need to find something stable, right? For me, it feels like this is stable, and the rest, I'm just hoping it goes well. But that's okay because that's the main note. So I could go. Sorry. Right. Yeah. It sounds almost okay, right? We don't listen to the rest.
Yeah.
If we can find your anchor, then that should help. Let's just do the left hand. Nice. That's very nice. And can you try lowering the strings to see if that's more comfortable? And softer. Anyway, you can play with the height to see if there's something that feels more comfortable. Yeah, okay, I'll stop letting you with that. But if you find your anchor, then you can play around with the rest more easily. So, we found a character that I thought it was very nice.
I thought it was too.
Yeah, yes, and I love when it goes ta-di-di-do, pow. It's very dramatic, right? Yes, that's great. Now, can we play the prelude with that same character? So you can surprise us and scare us if you want. Nice. Love it. That's great. Like, now we know everything we need. It's like almost the overture of an opera. Like, really, whoa, this is going to be dramatic. This is going to be fun. I love how you shape that. That was great.
I was always so scared of this passage because I always feel like, oh, I'm not going fast enough. Oh, I have to do whatever.
Yes, so one thing that helps us is to think of that big beat, right? Here we only have one beat in the first measure. So you can stretch it as much as you want and then give us the second one. Give us the next big beat. So the way you did it was great.
So I can go.
Yeah, actually, here you went ta-di-di-do-di-di-da-da-da-di-do, pow. But I would love ta-di-di-do-di-di-da-da-da-di-do, pow. Yeah, it can stay strong. This one, I loved how strong it was before. Yeah. Can you do it with one hand? Just for me today. You can change after. Yeah, and you can start even slower. And once you're stable and comfortable, then you go fast. Yeah. Can you speed up here into it? Nice. And then, yeah, in the same character. pa 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 da 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 da. Yeah. So here again we have our character, and our tool is finding what speed is best to convey that emotion. And if it's too fast, it's like meh. Like we don't listen to it and it goes by fast and I'm not scared. Then, how do we make the transition from the prelude to the piece? Should we muffle or not?
Yeah, I also had that question.
Mm-hmm.
I was asking Elizabeth before that, should I like damp there or not?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
Right, so to decide, I'm going to say the same thing. How do we scare people or grip people into that story we're starting to tell? This is very conclusive, right? The boom, pa pa. Really, it's not like a dom, bum 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 bum, and then into something. It's very like. So I think, can we try both options? We could go maybe from. Oh no, you're right. From there is good. So. Yeah, but here, so you keep singing it in your head, the long note, boom, ba boom, boom, and then you breathe before starting. Then you breathe. Yeah, nice. Try the other option where you finish muffle and then start again.
Okay.
Interesting. It's different.
Yeah,
And
I couldn't make up my mind myself.
Yeah.
I went with the no muffling, but then, right, because it gives it a completely different character.
I like both options. When you kept singing it, and you breathe, and you start, then we're totally following you. And when you muffled it, it's sort of like, oh, I guess we're starting something new. And you started a little quieter and you built up. That was great. So it's like if you're telling a story, you can tell the same story and change the words a little bit, and it's going to be just as good.
Like you doing this now, I can't decide anymore.
So my trick and my conclusion when I have a question like that is just to pick one for today, and then if next week you don't like it, you change it.
Okay.
So we can decide together on one.
I think I'll go with the no muffle.
Okay, all right, no muffling. I like the solution, but breathing, right?
Yeah.
So I would even like write in a little like comma or something. So you physically breathe, either there or before there, but when you did it, it was great.
So I have a question about this breathing. So I noticed that when you play, you always like freeze between like phrases.
Yes.
Like, and then I don't do that. Is there any like something behind it that I do it?
Oh, this is a great question. I guess it's something that I developed playing music with others. I also did not breathe very much. And that's almost a problem with harp, that we don't need to breathe. I don't know who it is, like a pianist said, you just need to breathe once at the beginning of the piece, and then you breathe out at the end. Something, but so of course if you played flute or if you sang, you couldn't do that,
I noticed
right?
wind players and singers, they always, before they start.
Right. So, if you were, actually, can we switch places and you'll do the breathing for me? So I'll play, but only with the cues that you give me from. I'll start here, but actually I'll start here.
Okay.
And so I want you to cue me as if we're singing together. Like we'll sing as if we were going to sing together. Pom pom pom.
Okay.
And the reason I'm doing that is because you're a human in front of other humans, and we all breathe. And so to start, it's very like unnatural, right? It's like, like I hope she makes it to the end of the whatever. So like I'll start here, and you can breathe here.
Okay.
And so we sing together. And can you do one where it's faster, like something so that I start
Okay.
fast? See, it changed the way that I was going to play it. So you can use the breath, especially if you're with other musicians. If you breathe like that, they'll have to play the way you want to play. Because you're very clear. Right now, you were so clear. And there was no way I could have started like... Because you gave me that character with the breath. And because it's your body, you can really... you'll feel it in your body. And so we'll hear it and we'll feel it. So this, especially at the beginning of the piece, it's sort of like I think when playing with others, we don't have a choice, so we play together. But it still helps when we're by ourselves to give that, just that character that we need.
Okay, interesting.
I have a question.
Yes.
When you use this breathing method, right?
Yes.
The audience will hear your, right?
Sometimes.
Will it kind of make it like less professional?
That's a good question. So it,
Wind players have to do that.
yes, but the wind players do it, but they also learn to do it effectively and quietly. So you can. It's a very good question. If you're in front of a whole orchestra playing a concerto and you want to make sure everyone is following you, you better make it a big breath, because if you just go, people won't know. So it depends on the situation always. If you're by yourself, of course, it can be smaller, but with the same character, I could go and still have the same. But I need a lot of air to play. It's a long phrase, and so yeah, we need oxygen to play through it.
Because I always feel like I've also heard other harpists like they play and then they would breathe like heavily in between phrases, and then I always thought that was like a way to push, like to make them actually like push when they breathe, to like feel less nervous when they play in front of like.
Yes, that could be. Yes, it can be a tool, absolutely, and to bring you back to your body. Sure. I'm really no expert in breathing, and it was something that was difficult for me when I learning music. So I think playing for others and with others really.
Yeah, I think
really made
like
a difference.
the breathing for me, that kind of a part is like whenever I play, I get nervous. Oh, and then I'm like at the end of the piece, I'm like, oh, I forgot to breathe.
Yes. Well, if you made it to the end of the piece, that's all that matters. but also something that I love unrelated to early music is that it's from a book called. It's by Dr. John Green, calls it Success in Performance, something like that. Anyway, Green, G-R-E-E-N-E. Anyway, he's a sports psychologist who wrote about psychology of performing music. And what he says as a good tip, amazing tip, especially for me or anyone who gets nervous, is to find an action cue to give yourself, right? Because I'm not just starting and hoping I remember the piece. What am I doing? So I am breathing and playing and singing the top melody, for example. So when you start, you have no questions about what you have to do. But can we try that? Just the very opening. So your cue would be breathe, sing. Maybe. Yes. And so here, our cue could be, yes, again, breathe and sing. That's great. Nice. Still sing. And here we have that character switch, right? It becomes more tender.
Yeah.
Nice. So we don't have to make the character fit the previous character. We can certainly switch to a new character, and Naderman does it often, right? It's like a section, another one.
Because I feel like this is like, these 4 bars is another like phrase.
Totally, absolutely. A different character. So what would the character be?
I think like an animal.
Yeah, okay, but if we relate that to an emotion,
It would be like quite silent and quite gentle.
gentle. Yes, yes, yes. I like gentle. There's quiet and gentle. Can we try that? Yeah, but still singing, right? Nice. Yeah, and this is a great example of an appoggiatura, right? Yeah, even more, louder. Yeah, so you can go, it's almost like a little crescendo all the way to the downbeat. Nice. Ah.
I lost it.
Yeah, but anyway, it worked. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it worked.
So here we found the important note, right? It's nice. And then it's the biggest one. Yeah, and you can finish gently in that character. And then, and then you'll breathe in the new. We go back to the first character, so we breathe in that character. Anyway, yes. So you can find a different character. The character can change, and then he goes back to the same character. Nice.
I'm just gonna, we probably have to move on.
Yes.
We're gonna get out of time.
Yes.
15.
Yes.
When you have to get your car.
That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, do I just wait? I don't know. Is
I don't
anybody
know how-
monitoring it right
Is it
now?
close by?
It's just on the other side. Or what? Where?
It's
on this side of the building?
No, I have no
It's
idea how,
downtown.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Or you can always move it and come back.
Go. I don't think I need
Yes.
to move it. I think I just need to put more.
Oh yeah. Great. Thank you. Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, have fun. And with the same with the second. Here you can here it's an example where the strong beat he writes us that it's not the first beat. And here afterwards it comes back to the downbeat. Here it's the
They
first
actually
beat.
wrote a comment.
Yes. Nice. Yeah, and you can also find the character, which might be different or the same, or slightly different. Yeah. And here you can also find your anchor. Find an anchor for here. It's probably going to be the third finger, right?
Yeah.
Oh, but then it switches. Yeah. But strong anchor and light for the rest. Yeah. Great. Bravo.
Thank you.
All right. Should we do a little bit of bravo? Yes. Oh, that was beautiful. Bravo. So nice. And the singing, the phrasing was beautiful. So what did I write? Oh yeah. So in the, I think what could be fun, maybe tomorrow, is to look up. I don't know if you already have, but to look up a video of someone dancing a jig. Have you ever seen a video of that? No. I don't know how to dance a jig, but basically they do one step per note. So it will go pa pam pa pam pa pam pa 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 pa. So what you did was great because every note was clear, and we really want that. It's not like blah 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 blah. So keep the clarity. That was great. And I love the dynamics and phrasing that is always changing. Because it's already so advanced, can we try? Well, first of all, what would be the character of this?
Exciting is like a dance.
Yeah, it's like a dance, so it's happy and it's Yeah, uplifting and moving. Yes, jumping out. Yes, absolutely. And so can we have a big happy first beat and then the light middle of the bar? Yeah, nice. Can we try to do even more? Actually, can I show you first what I mean? If I do it to the extreme, I would go. Sorry. So actually, we can go big beat, small beat, big beat, small beat. So. Strongest one is always the first one of the bar. Yeah, can you be even stronger the first one? Nice. Oh. Yeah, and then pum pum. Yeah, even this one. Pum. Yeah. Yeah, your left hand can help, right? So loud. Nice. Pum pum, no. Then strong pum pum. Keep that. That's great. It's very fun to listen to also. And so here when I go, when you go dee do dee dee do dee dee dum. With the, I think it's an E flat. Little effect, so the second one is almost like a trumpet going so the higher one can be even louder. Opposite. So and then the second one when you go up there can be even louder. Yeah. Nice. And here, your thumb can always be louder than the little nose. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So it's almost like, right? It's the same motif. Pa-pum, pa-pum, and then he goes faster. Pa-pum, pa-pum, pa-pum. Yes. Can we try just the right hand again? Actually, you can play with both hands if you want. Nice. Yes, and if you had dancers playing with you, we wouldn't slow down too. If we slow down, it's just the tiniest thing, and then we can breathe before starting again. Nice, yes. Because if you have dancers and you slow down, that's something in dance music. Often we slow down in one part, but if you have a dancer going pum, 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 and you slow down, it's like. And then it's much harder. If you breathe, it's okay because they'll go and then start again with you. So that way is great. Yeah. And if you slow down, like at the end, I think that's great, but you need to, as if you were like conducting the dancers or following you. So it needs to, we could try actually just the very end, maybe from, I don't know where you want. Yeah, nice. So you'll conduct the dancers. That's so nice. And so the first time here, you just went soft without slowing down. That was great. Loved it. And then you slowed down, and it was very clear. Everyone could follow what you were doing. Nice, very nice. I just want to see if I had written something down. Yes, so playing with big beats and then small beats, that's always the nicest thing. Yes. Great. Yeah, and I think the piece is short enough to play everything. I think that's fine. Yes, yes, yes. You usually play it with the repeat of the first part?
Yeah, but
Yes.
I didn't play it today because
Yes, 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 that's fine. Yes, yes, yes. That's great. I mean, do you have specific questions? It is beautiful as is.
not really.
Yeah. All right, I'm trying to find other things. And maybe anybody has like questions either specific to that piece or...
We were interested in Jiga, right? We were wondering about the transcription and all that. Yeah, what do you think about the transcription itself? Like,
Yeah, I think it works well. Here, it's there's an added ornament at measure 18 that goes fa, la, mi, sol, la, sol. Yeah, that one, I think that Salzido invented that ornament.
Yeah,
I think it could simply be F, G, A, G, fa, da, 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 which is called a gruppetto.
yeah.
Nam, papa. But honestly, when you played it, I thought it sounded very nice.
So it works, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure why he did that, but it sounds good. And so again, we're trying to convey that character of light, and if the ornament works with that, even if you invented one yourself that went if it serves the thing, I'm sure Mr. Corelli would have been very happy because it serves the music well. And yeah, but no, the rest is totally fine, yes. At the very end, he suggests slowing down. That's one option. But the other option that could be fun, actually, let's try it together. I loved when you just went quiet, and then how about instead of slowing down at the end, we keep the same tempo until the end, but we go either even quieter or just as quiet.
What's that from here?
Yes, yes. Just same tempo. Can we try it again? So now we slow down a little. You were nice to the dancers, but let's just keep it as if they were like dancing away. And there's disappearing. That's also very elegant. And then they finish on this last note with you. Usually you really have the choice. I think you're doing both options fine. Do you have a preference for slowing down or not slowing down at the end?
Maybe slowing down.
Slowing down. Sure. I like that. And the way you did it 2 times ago, it was very clear and very nice to dancers. Yes. That's great. Bravo. So nice.
Well, I should mention, somebody at the door, you have a delivery.
Oh, maybe I can see it afterwards. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any questions? We have almost a few minutes for questions.
Yeah.
Any question from online? No question? Any question?
Everyone's gone.
Everyone's gone.
No. Is everyone still
Yeah.
here?
Yeah.
Another question. Can I try on?
Yes. I was gonna say, anyone who wants to try the Baroque harp, just make sure your hands are clean, and then you can try the harp. Yeah. Here, I'll bring it where there's light. Yes. Let me actually. You might just. It's not very stable on its feet,
Yes,
so we
can I
just have
hold
to
it?
make sure. Just when I'll move this harp out of the way.
Your eyes. Your eyes. Yes. Whoa.
This reminds me.
Yeah, so it's exactly like a harp, but like if you want, like this is the C and the D, and then you just go in between if you want the C sharp, like on a piano. Exactly.
How come
Oh yes, it's just because they could have put 3 rows all the way, but it's rare that we play with the right hand very low, right? It's just for that. It's to save money and space and.
Oh, you really have to reach inside.
Yes, yes, yes.
Is it heavier because there's more strings?
No, actually it's lighter because there's no metal. The only metal are the pegs.
Dizzy.
In the middle there are 3 rows. If you look at the buttons, you see that they stop.
But they stop
Yes,
kind
yes,
of
yes.
here.
Yes,
The
yes.
3 row stops here.
Yeah. I'll just take a sip of water.
Can't see anything.
The tension is lighter.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Oh, yeah, the other way. I was just holding the harp. Yeah, hold the other way.
Oh yes.
Now, 2 hands will never get mixed up with each other.
The 2 hands will, yes, yes.
Take a break.
And then your eyes will go,
Can we do harmonica this thing?
We don't often do harmonics because we sit pretty low, and so the harmonics would be higher than your face.
Alex, let's take turns. Let's take turns, okay? Yeah, because other people can stand here and try it out, right?
So Rosanna, should we stop the recording now?
Should we stop the recording?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Thank you to everyone
Yeah,
on Zoom
let's-
who
yeah.
joined us. Thank you.
Bye. Someone hold it. Someone
Yeah.
hold it.
Oh, it's fine as long as we're around it. It's okay.
My teachers up
Yeah.
You can try sitting down.
Bye. Marilyn.
Chairs.
Oh, Marilyn, are you still here? Let's see. She was here.
So what is cool is when if you play the low strings very low,
There's a lot of people. No, Emily is
like
here.
quite loud. Yeah.
No, I think she left. Yeah.
I am here. Hi.
Okay, I'm going to stop the recording.